Hi everybody, welcome to today's training ride with this beautiful medium pony. I did have a microphone on my jacket and we forgot to sound check it first to make sure it was linked up, so it did not catch anything that I was talking about and saying during this whole video ride, and I'm super bummed about that, just because it talks about what I'm feeling at the time and what I need to do to make the correction. So I warmed her up both ways, walk, trot, canter, before videoing, so we don't have a long videoing of us doing simple flat work. So after that, I moved on to just doing this simple little exercise on a circle, raised cavaletti ground pulls on the circle, and just, looking for a rhythm, looking for her focusing and ready in and on the game today and what we're going to do. So what I always stress everyone when I'm working with something new is always use the ring, make them ride to the end of the ring, not turning too early and cutting corners, so they start to create the habit and they feel comfortable with going to the end of the ring. So we're just circling, doing a little half circle there with the trot cavalettis. I'm looking for her, not rushing, not slowing down, just keeping a good even tempo going through these. And she did really well with them starting off, and I'm very proud of her for that. Just being relaxed, just focusing on her feet. This also helps build the hind end and teach them to try to lift the back and their stomach a little bit more. So something just so simple makes a world of a difference. So I went ahead and I changed direction there. We're going to work off the right side. I didn't need to do much of these just because she was so good. She was so relaxed. She was so ready for the ride. When they're relaxed and ready, that's what I'm looking for before I even start jumping. I don't want to rush them into something if their body's tense. It just makes the jumping process so much harder. Whoops, we kind of went a little long there. I got a little left behind. That's okay. Gave her a little scratch, and sorry. Didn't mean to. But we are human. We make mistakes too. And we got a little short coming in on that one as well. And I just take note of that. And I make sure that I take note of that so I can correct it the next time. There we go. And we made the correction. And we made the correction. Good. Very good. So when I have something green and new, I always shut the gates starting off, but she's been so good. I now start leaving the gates open just because when we're at shows, they have always a gate open to come in and out. They need to learn how to ride past it and still do their job. Then I went ahead, I went straight. She thought we were turning. We were turning there for the circle, and that's not what I was wanting. I was wanting to go straight. So she drifted a little to the inside to the right. She kind of likes to drift a little right with the shoulder. So she jumped up over it. Just kind of a loosey-goosey jump, not the prettiest jump. But, I'm not going to scold her for that. I just go ahead and I stop at the end. Now she knows that we're ready to, work on the jumping today. So, and I did show her this box. If I ever feel, I always feel like if they aren't feeling, completely 100% or listening to me, I'm going to, because I had another rider in the ring. She's kind of looking at the other rider. So I went ahead and I showed her what's the next task so that we don't get any surprises. I always want to create a good, positive reaction the first time. So if I can do something so little and simple as just showing her something to let her know we're jumping, put her mind in the game, that's what we're going to do. And she drifted a little right again there, but she jumped up nicely. She came out quietly, and we're just going to halt at the end just because I want her to understand she has to ride to the end, because we have been working on lead changes, and she does on the flat. She has been doing her lead changes. So I don't want to incorporate into jumping quite yet if she's not ready or is not balanced, because I know the change is there, but I don't want to confuse her because she is such a sensitive mare. I don't want to create what I like a little spinny mind, a spinny brain. I want her to be really focused and just calm about everything. So there, her turning's still green. She likes to drift to the outside. So there you kind of saw me lift my inside rein. I always kind of lift it up at to the outside of my shoulder through the turn, and I kind of pulse it to tell her, no, we have to turn. We can't just drift out. We need to listen to the contact. The reason why I do that is because sometimes they'll start creating where they start to drift away from the contact or drift away from the turn, or they'll tuck their nose in and then they can, push the shoulder out. So I lift it up to keep their nose out and for her to focus on the turn. So she did great on that last one there. She came in nicely, she jumped it nicely, and she landed correctly on the right bleed. Therefore, I just went ahead and continued on through the canter on that one. So we pick up a trot, a simple trot to the end. Nice and straight, good. And I decided to do a simple change there. She was nice and straight, she wasn't crooked, so there was no need to halt. And there you go, and you see right there where she kind of is trying to drift away from the shoulder. So I kind of just pull it out and I pulse it to say, no, you got to get underneath me. We can't just, keep running the opposite way. And over time, that will be fixed. The turning will get better. The more she understands, the better it will get. So we're just regaining. It's so cold, nose is running, so I took breaks to dab that off. And we continue on to the next side. Came in nice and straight. I release and we continue. Whoop. She kind of came in a little dead there, but we still went ahead and picked up the canter and said, okay, let's continue on. So I'm trying to create her to understand, which leads to land on. That was good. She reached out. She jumped it nicely. I'm trying to get her to understand which leads she needs to land on. Pay attention. Good. And I opened that rein again. Said, okay, let's pay attention to me. Let's not drift in. And she was very good about that. Again, over time, it gets better, and it gets better, and it gets better. So the great thing is, with the cavalettis and the cross rails, I can, either put the 5 stride in or go ahead and push for the 4 stride when we're cantering them. Good. And my goal is I have her for another 30 days with me, for another month. So my goal is, because we've been doing the cross rail, we can start raising up to 2 foot 2-3 verticals and oxers. Oh, and she swapped. So she did swap there in front of the jump. Well, I got to be very careful that she's not wanting to do that. But she kind of got a little crooked and a little behind my leg, and I pushed a little bit because she was just judging the distance and the stride on the ground pull. So I want to make sure that I don't allow her to keep creating that where she is anticipating the turn and she's swapping in front of the jumps. We trot in. She wanted a canter coming in, which is okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry, that's 6 straight on this one. So I added for the 6, or I could push for the 5. I'm going to add for the 6 because I want her to always stay calm right now. When she's balanced and ready, I can push for taking a stride out. And I'm okay. She wanted to canter coming in. I'm okay with that because she's just eager to jump. She's not rushing. She's just saying, hey, I can use a little support through that canter. And that's what I was going, I allowed her to do that because I want to encourage her to really like her job. And she did well with that, and she did a nice little turn there. Always focusing on the details when we ride. And why I turn and why I make a decision to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Super good. That was really good. She was very good. I probably went to the next fence. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A little long. That's okay. She swapped though. don't want to interfere too much because I don't want to, pull the rein to where she breaks her gait. But she continued on nicely. And looking for the next one, 2. Got a little deep in that one, therefore she didn't swap. So trot, 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 because we're by the gate. And cantered. Very good. You see how I kind of pulsed the rein there to get her to turn? There, we went back and we fixed it. Oh, she did a little front change, not what I was looking for. That means we're just a little crooked through the body. Could have pushed her hind end a little bit more. She probably would have lead changed the hind end there, but everything kind of happens so fast, and if I'm not like focusing on something, then I don't get it really early enough. But we went ahead and we simple changed it. At least she's starting to understand the concept of what we're asking for on it. And she's being super good. Every time she comes out, her mind is on the job. She is ready for it. So that's what I'm looking for, is her ready for the game, wanting to work, wanting to please. And we're kind of a little bit by the gate, so she's drifting. So I pulse, 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 and then held the inside rein, get her to stay a little straighter. Good. And I simple change because we weren't straight. I think if I go ahead and start taking that outside rein and start pushing the hindquarters, then we can start focusing on the lead changes. And she came in a little deep on that one again. It's okay. We simple change by the gate, push her past it, and she did good. And we turn nice and quiet. 1, 2, whoop, that long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Miscount on that one. It is okay to make a mistake. I like to not be quite perfect all the time because they have kids ride them, and I want her to make sure that she's still going to be okay with a mistake and still want to try her heart out. I don't want her to have to be like that perfect. You have to get to the base 100% perfect every time for her to jump. I want her to have confidence that if the rider puts her in a bad position, that she's still going to want to step forward and jump. Now, I'm not saying that she came in super long. I'm just saying that she, was just a smidge long or a smidge short, or she chips in that she's still going to want to go. Because I don't want her to find that those little mistakes ruin her confidence. I want her to always stay confident. There, we a little drifty. So now we're taking strides out. We're putting 5 strides in. Just mixing it up, making her feel comfortable with the 5 strides, and she was really good. So I think I'm talking there about the ride and what I'm looking for. All I'm just looking for is our horse trying to understand what we're asking for and being very confident and patient with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to thank my sponsors, BellaMute, for their beautiful equestrian riding belts and shirts. And they have some fun new horse treats from the donut shop. I will put the link below, and you can go ahead and go to that link and take a look at what they have to offer. Their belts are amazing. They don't stretch. They last so long over time, and they're adjustable in size, and they have an easy on and off clasp when you're in a hurry and on the go every day when you're riding or at horse shows. They're super cute, so definitely check them out. I'll put a 10% off code below that you guys can use for that. And here we off. We're going to go again. Sometimes I like to make my approaches on jumps very short, just so that they start to get prepared ahead of time. Here we go. I pulse, 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 trying to keep the neck straight. She's still drifting right. That's why she lead changed off that shoulder. And as you can tell, she's not wanting to stay center in that. So, whoop. She gets tired and she kind of gets a little sloppy sometimes. And here we keep going. Whoop, a little deep. And we trot. And then we canter. Good. Just putting the course together. Not so much pauses. Good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I went ahead and I held for the 6 that time. Go back. A little short again. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Super. And trot. And again. Up a little short. She's pooing. I need to fix that with her, but she did really good when the young riders came out and rode her, the owner, and she jumped around. We did a little bit of a different course. She was amazing for her. And we took away from the ground poles. We took them away because she's been so good, staying balanced coming in and staying balanced on the landing. So once we start to feel that, we start to take away the poles. And then I always encourage to continue putting them back in. I think I could have actually pushed for a lead change on that one, but I didn't. She got a little drifty again. We pulsed the rein. Oh, she got a little deep again. Oh, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, she kind of knocked it. We got in deep to it. She knocked it. She gets tired and she gets a little behind the leg sometimes. She's getting the concept there. And the nice balance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, they came in a little short with that. And I think that's what we ended on. My husband was so gracious. He's trying to put up the pole while filming. So we ended on that. And she was so good. She improves and tries and loves her job, and will just continue to get better and better at it as we go. And it'll just take time. It takes time. It takes patience. I want her to be soft. I want her to enjoy it. I want her to continue to work for us. I guess I did end it. So, and again, I probably didn't like the fact that she kept coming in a little short on me, so I wanted to fix it. There we go. Trot, 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 and canter. One, 2, 3, 1. There we go. Trot, trot, trot. And I think I was kind of being a little forceful, really throw my hands on her and kind of getting her way to landing on the correct lead. But she's gotten better. She's getting to the point where she'll want to land on the correct lead. That's okay. We try to step in because our shoulder was still left. And we won't get upset about that. We just fix and continue on. So over time, she's going to get, tired of always trotting and swapping. She's going to want to swap. We have worked on the lead changes and she has been doing them, but she's just such a sensitive mare. I think I just jumped my husband right there. We jumped, he was kind of in the way, but I kept going and she went. So over time, when she gets stronger, those lead changes will happen. When she feels more balanced, those lead changes will happen. And she kind of, when I first would get on her and ride her, she kind of acted a slight holdback. But I think now we've kind of addressed that situation, and she actually feels a lot more comfortable while riding. Whoops. Yeah, I should have pulled up a little bit more and pulsed with that. She gets a little tired, and she starts kind of making those silly little mistakes. We were so good, and she got a little tired, but we got to keep going. We got to learn how to work through it and kind of build more endurance for it and more conditioning for it. So, but we had the young rider come out, and she did fabulous for her. and she was such a good girl. We took away the poles. So this was the beginning of the week on the videos. I was hoping to get a new video at the end of the week with her doing a little bit more, because you can tell even just like 3 or 4 days, she has such a big improvement in a very short period of time. And I think we're done. Finally, we're done. But she was so good. Again, thank you everyone. Thank you for my sponsors, my BellaMute, for beautiful belts and hairnets. She's a fun pony to work with. I have her again in January. So hopefully we see improvement. We're doing a little bit more, and hopefully we can start really focusing on those lead changes and being a little more solid about that. Again, I want to be very careful with her because she's such a sensitive mare. I don't want to have her mind spinning. We just want to be careful that she's relaxed in everything she does, and that she understands that she just, does the changes. We can start getting them a little more auto. It just takes time. Some horses are a little bit slower than others because of her conformation. She's a little bit long through the back, so we're gonna really have to help work on maybe some trot raised cavalettis so that we can help keep her core and her back strong for those. So yeah, that's what we worked on. Keep working on, and hopefully those changes, and we can do something a little bit bigger if she feels balanced and she feels ready and she feels like she's staying balanced and solid underneath us. So hope you enjoy. If you guys have any questions about anything, please ask. If you want me to make a video covering anything, please do. I'd be happy to make those videos and to post them for you. So we are all going in the same route. This is great exercises that I did today. So simple that if you're working a new horse, keeping those ground poles in front of and behind the jump, so they learn to stay balanced and they learn to stay around and keep a good bascule while jumping. Because horses get rushy if they're not balanced or if they're not sure what they're doing. So go ahead and put those ground poles behind and in front. And I have a couple other exercises in some of my other videos of what I'm doing and why I'm doing that to help work with a horse. And I think everyone can do it and can have the confidence of doing it. So go ahead and check out and subscribe to my subscription and Just a Pro Trying to Make It. Subscribe to it and learn and find, good techniques that help work your horse to becoming a better athlete in the jumping. And again, if you have any questions, please holler, please ask, and be happy to address them and maybe help build a little program for your horse and you. I'm happy to help with that. I love what I do, and I like to see improvement, and I want everyone else to enjoy their horses as much as I do. So subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Just a Pro Trying to Make It. Thank you, guys. So hopefully we can do another week of cross rail, and then she's done cross rail oxers, she's done those great, and we can start moving them up to verticals, and she'll feel confident with the verticals. Well, thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed, and I want to thank my sponsors, my BellaMute, for their beautiful bets and tops, and they have some yummy horse treats for them that she loves too, so check them out. Thank you guys. Bye.